Well, hello there. You have tuned into, or found, or more likely stumbled onto by mistake, the automotive adventures of a Huntington Hillbilly. That's what I wanted to call my YouTube channel. My son said that's too long, so Dad, just call it the Huntington Hillbilly, and that sounds pretty cool anyway. So what this is really about is automotive adventures. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, what is a Huntington Hillbilly? I live here in the beautiful town of Huntington Woods, Michigan. Do you have your Michigan map handy? It's right there. That's the map of Michigan. See that? Huntington Woods, Michigan, 2 miles north of the city of Detroit, right along Woodward Avenue. Great car culture, great little town. It's really full of doctors, lawyers, executives, and business owners. And then this guy, which is not any of those. And I wouldn't say I'm a hillbilly per se, out of respect for those who really are hillbillies. But relative to the town, I probably would say I have more air tools going here on a Saturday morning than anybody in town, more cars on jack stands, more tow trucks coming and going, mainly coming. Tow trucks come here to deliver cars. So the hillbilly motif of the local car guy working on who knows what, the neighbors say they really enjoy seeing my projects. They always like to know what's going on, what kind of projects going on. And it's sort of some of the neighborhood entertainment to see what's going on here. So I did get my start, like a lot of teenagers, pulling engines with a come along under an oak tree. So, maybe a little country-ish, but not quite hillbilly. But it sounded pretty good. So that's the Huntington Hillbilly. The automotive adventures is what I'm really about. I believe that auto repair and automotive adventures can be fun, it can be rewarding, and a great way to have camaraderie with family and friends. So I make a number of repairs. I'll talk about 3 types of automotive adventures here shortly, but that's what I really enjoy, is the adventure of automobiles, of finding them, of fixing them, buying, selling them, and keeping them going. So I'm going to tell you all about that. So there are 3 types of automotive adventures that I really enjoy. Well, actually 3.5. This Jeep here represents the first of the automotive adventures I enjoy. Like a lot of people, finding a car online, going and buying it somewhere, and bringing it back from the dead. This here is a 54 Willis M170 military ambulance. I got it from Tennessee. In December. I don't know when the last time it was that it ran, but to go find it, research it. I'd been looking for a rust-free Jeep because this over here is actually a chassis of a Jeep. This is a 69 CJ6 chassis that I bought from Illinois, and the guy had redone the axles and the brakes and sandblasted and painted the frame, so I was looking for a low rust body to put on it. And I found this Jeep, which is relatively low rust other than the bed. So to go find this thing, that's automotive adventure number 1. Now there's a reason that I don't get to these very often. That's because of automotive adventure number 2, which is just keeping my own daily vehicles running. This is my Sport Track. The Sport Track is the finest vehicle ever manufactured. It can do it all. It's kind of like a mullet. It's like party in the front, or business in the front, party in the back. You can daily drive it, you can haul with it. But just keeping these older vehicles, older by modern day standards, keeping them running requires a lot of just regular maintenance and fixing. I have this, my son has an older Lincoln Aviator that I spend a lot of time fixing. And I just picked up this Equinox for my daughter. So picked up this car, and it was crashed when I bought it. It was crashed about as far as you could go and still have a driveway fix. So you can see it's 4 different whites. So that fender's one white, the car's one white, the fender's another, the hood, and then these 2 doors, junkyard parts. But this I have a whole list of things I need to do to this as well to make it running. So that's automotive adventure number 2, is just keeping these vehicles running. For me, automotive adventure number 3 is helping other people with their adventures. So When you know how cars work, you get phone calls. Hey, could you help me look for a car? Could you help me fix my car, evaluate my car? Thinking about buying a car, thinking about selling a car, helping other people with their adventures is automotive adventure number 3. And so much camaraderie with that, helping people, really having a lot of fun. And I said there's 3.5. The half adventure for me it's actually the best adventure of all, is going to the scrapyard to buy parts, like that Equinox. To go find doors and hood and parts. For me, when I die, if the good Lord sees to it that I go to heaven, heaven to me will be a you-pick junkyard. Rows and rows of cars, me with a bag of tools that I can just take anything I need or want off of those. That to me is a picture of heaven. So to go to the junkyard is its own amazing adventure, but it usually is supporting another adventure. That's why I say it's number 3.5. So why am I starting this new YouTube channel? So a couple reasons. One, I hope to inspire and empower people to take on their own projects at home, in their garage, or their driveway. There's a lot that you can do on your own vehicles. Sometimes you need some inspiration, you need some empowerment, you need to feel like, hey, I think I can tackle that. I think I can do that. And I want to show you that. But the second thing is you need to balance that with a sort of realism about your abilities. And the two things that I see that people get tripped up on is accurate diagnosis is number 1. And then what do you do when you hit a tough spot? That's number 2. So accurate diagnosis is so important to fix the right thing. Otherwise, you throw a lot of money at a car to try to fix it. Sometimes you see a guy, hey, my car didn't start, so I replaced the starter. It still didn't start, so I replaced the alternator. It still didn't start, so I replaced the battery, and now it starts. That's an expensive way to learn how cars work. I saw a car for sale on Facebook today. I was looking, and it said it has a new crank sensor, a new cam sensor, a new coil, new spark plugs, and new wires. So it sounds like somebody was guessing maybe at why the car didn't have spark. So that's an expensive way to learn. I misdiagnose stuff. I'm guilty of it, but in general, diagnosis is really important. So that's part of the automotive adventure. But the second thing is, what do I do when I hit a tough spot in a repair? And I find every repair has at least one difficult hurdle to overcome. I'll tell you what I mean. Like a brake job, it seems like a pretty simple repair. I know a lot of people, hey, I'm just going to replace the brake pads in my driveway. How hard can it be? And unbolting and rebolting something may not seem that difficult, but what do you do when you run into trouble? Caliper slide pins are frozen. You have uneven pad wear. Maybe there's fasteners on there you don't have the tool for, like a hex or a Torx bit. The caliper piston won't compress. What do you do when you run into a problem? Swapping parts in and out is one thing, but I find almost every repair has a difficult thing to overcome, and that is an adventure in itself. It's a bolt that breaks, it's a part that won't come out, it's that the instructions weren't right, oftentimes it's I don't have the right tool. So in every one of those, overcoming that hurdle is difficult. And when people have a repair, you tear it down, I can't figure it out, and now you call somebody to come over and look at it with you. So between inspiration and empowerment, balanced with realistic diagnosis and overcoming those hurdles. So, and as I've done those things over the years, I thought this would really be a great story to show somebody how to overcome this hurdle. So I'm not technically giving you a how-to channel. The goal isn't how to. In fact, sometimes it might be how not to, but there are some maybe pro tips more than anything, or how to think through and overcome difficult challenges, and how to diagnose. I will be taking you through a lot of those things as I do them, repair by repair, which are all mini little automotive adventures. So I hope that that's helpful and inspiring, empowering, and enjoyable for you. Now, lastly, I want to take you on a tour of my garage just so you can see a little bit more about me and how I think and how I work. So we'll just start here. I mean, it's a 2-car garage. I can get 2 cars in here when there's not a Jeep in the middle. I got a lot of tools and equipment laying over here. I got my cornhole boards that I made. Then we got the Michigan and Ohio State, and these here are going to be Michigan State. That's where my son goes now. I actually have over here my Michigan State popcorn box, so I can color match the green properly there. So you can see we got tools, jacks and jack stands, which the cars are usually up on there. Got some good lights. Okay, here, this is an absolute mess. I thought about cleaning it up for you, but I decided not to. Got my little Ford kneeler down there and a box of parts. My toolbox, it's a mess. Yep, absolutely. My collection of rock auto magnets. I threw out the first 10 or so. I thought, I'm not giving into that collectorship, but then I decided to. Here's some crossbars for the sport track that I got at the junkyard probably, gosh, 4 years ago, it says on there. Never put them on yet. This is a pile of wheels for the sport track. This is the 20-inch wheel that came on the Adrenaline. These are super cool. They're the best looking wheel on a sport track. And they usually get under the clear coat. They get corrosion under the clear coat and they look really bad. But I bought these and I stripped them and I've sanded them with sandpaper going from 120 grit all the way down to 1500 grit. I probably have 4 hours into each one of those wheels on the back of the Jeep and then watching my TV right there. So this is where I enjoy that. Got some parts to the Jeep. This is my heater. When it's a ventless propane heater. When it's 32 degrees outside, I can get it up to 70 in here, which is really nice for working on cars on a Saturday or a nighttime. This is my Lincoln Handy MIG 110 welder. And all I've ever done is mechanical work and bolt on and bolt off. The reason I bought this Jeep is I want to learn how to do body work and welding. So I thought a Jeep, can't really mess that up too bad. It's pretty square. So my brother is a professional welder. He helped me set up the welder, but I haven't used it yet. I don't have gas. I have this deck lid off 66 Falcon. I parted out. I'm going to chop it up and learn to weld on that. So coming over here, I got another set of wheels, which is really serving as my holder for my trash bags. They're like a Torque Thrust D wheel, which is my favorite wheel of all time. These are 14-inch wheels. Actually, I forget the name of them. They had J.C. Penney tires on them. They're from the 60s or 70s, and I bought a bead blaster, and I bead blasted those and cleaned them up. Now I just need to buy a car to put them on. I mentioned here the frame, actually the chassis for a 59 Jeep CJ6, kind of stuffed in there with a bunch of junk. Don't judge me on that. And then over here, just rounding out, got some fluids. Got a pile of 2x4s for my basement project I'm doing. So lastly, I want to introduce you to my family. Here they are. This is sort of an older picture of them. They're all a little older now, but there's me with my grill, my wife on her bike, my son with his bass, and my daughter with her violin. Like I say, this is an older picture. His hair is actually a lot longer now, and the kids actually look older now than that. But that's the family. And, usually got an older picture like that laying around here. But I probably need to update that. And then lastly, my driveway. This is where a lot of my action happens, is on this driveway. A lot of my Saturday repairs, I do them right here. I actually like that I'm on a corner, so this driveway directly faces the road. And the cool thing is the people I meet. I'm out there working on a car. People walk by. They want to see what's going on in the garage. Just as I was filming this now, a family walked by and they said, "Oh, you got a new project. What are you working on now?" And I've actually met a lot of really cool guys that way, families, and it's really a neat way, I feel, to engage in my community. The driveway is on an angle. It's kind of slanted. The downside to that is when I'm checking fluids, stuff, you can't check oil on a slanted driveway. And when I'm putting cars on jack stands, I got to be careful because it is on an angle. So that does make that a little tricky. Now you see there, I've got 3 cars in the driveway. I could fit another one in between and 2 in the garage. So technically, 4 out there, and I can put 2 in here. I can get 6 vehicles here in this tiny little spot, which is fun. I have an agreement, our family agreement is that I only have 1 vehicle to work on at a time in terms of a project, and right now it's this Jeep. One thing I wanted to mention and I forgot to was my bag that I use when I go to the junkyard, or when I'm going, I fill it with tools when I'm going to help somebody fix cars, and I keep some Band-Aids right here in the side. I usually keep 1 or 2 small ones, and then I've got this big one. Now I'm saving this one for a special occasion, so don't expect me to use that anytime soon. It's kind of like a bottle of wine where you got a special bottle of wine you're keeping for a special occasion. And then I also keep another set here. So one of the ways I gauge a repair is how many Band-Aids did it take? And usually it's a 2 Band-Aid project, a 3 Band-Aid project, but I don't want you getting all excited about me pulling this guy out unless it's like, when I use this one, I really earned it that day. You know, I really earned, that was a world-class repair or world-class mistake, and we really earned it. But I keep it there, kind of like a special bottle of wine. So there you go. That's the introduction to the automotive adventures of a Huntington Hillbilly. And I look forward to bringing you with me on the next adventure.